Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Raising Cane studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Look at that. Cough buttons work. Welcome back in. Hour number 2. OTB here from the Raising Cane Studio. Of course, our Monday show is brought to you by Bayou Automotive. Go to the website today, BayouAutomotive.com. Check out all the different options that they have for you. Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, Jeep, Ram. Something for everybody. Something for every lifestyle over at Bayou Automotive. I'm just going to say Black Widow like 1,000 more times here today because that's how excited we are to be driving around that Black Widow Jeep. It is a game changer. There's nothing else like it. And you can have yourself one too. A lot of different options that they have that on as well. Can't have mine though. Can't have the one I'm driving because they might not ever get that back.
You're real cocky over there.
I'm feeling real good about it.
Well, you got one teenager Snapchat
That's
your
right.
car.
Dude, my kids want to ride with me like, hey, Dad, can we take it to practice? You know, you got
Finally
kids.
the cool dad.
Exactly. NFL? Nah. LSU? Who cares? Black Widow. Anyways, Team USA, and we're going all the way. They get it done.
USA.
2-1.
USA.
Over the Dominican Republic in an incredible drama-filled, tense moments from like the third inning on. Paul Skeens goes out there, does exactly what you need him to do. And look, it wasn't with striking people out. It was just getting outs. He has one mistake, and look, they made him pay, but still, like every jam he gets in, he gets out. Then you bring in the old submarine pitcher whose knuckles are scraping the ground to get the double play ground ball. I mean, basically comes in, what was it like? Was it 2 or 3 pitches? Maybe 3. 3 pitches,
Came
get
in
you
the
out
fourth,
of the inning.
right? And there was a runner. Was it a run on second and third? I believe.
No, he induced a double play.
That's right.
So it might have been first and second.
Maybe at first and second. I was in the kitchen, like kind of cleaning up, put some dishes away because we had just gotten back, and Huck screams at me from the other room, "Dad, come see this! What is this pitcher doing? Why is he bending over like that?" He had never seen it.
He'd never seen that?
No.
What a time for him.
Memphis
What a
had never
time.
seen it either because the same situation. He's like, Dad, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah,
I was like, well, he's a submarine pitcher. He's like, what's that mean? And I was like, well,
That he's a badass.
Because he's like, because of like his delivery, it's like that's what they call it.
Yep.
And then like we started talking about torpedoes. He's like, wait, I thought torpedo was a bat. And I was like, good memory. That was all the rage last year, torpedo bats.
Sure.
I was like, well, torpedo's like an underwater missile. And they got into a whole conversation. But
Yep.
same thing. He's like, what's this guy doing?
Then y'all got into war talk.
Sort of.
Kind of
Kinda.
like this show.
Very much so.
Also, USA. Yeah, so it was fun. I explained to him, like, it's a change-up. You just saw, like, the best pitcher in the world come out, throwing traditionally, just throwing gas and movement. Then all of a sudden, you got to get an out. You need one guy. You throw in this crazy pitching fella, and it works. Induce a double play. I mean, the whole game, though, I mean, we talked about it in the first segment. It was a movie script of a baseball game. The World Baseball Championship or Classic, whatever. It felt like a Game 7 here in March, and you have the best of the best. You roll out, and it had all the storylines leading up to the game, of course, with the best pitcher in the world playing the hottest lineup and full of all-stars. And just absolutely destroying people all the way up to that point. And Paul Skeens didn't have his best outing in the world. I think pitched 4 and a third, but he did what he had to do. Limited that lineup to just 1 run. Made that one mistake to Junior Caminero. He hung it. He cranked it too.
Yeah, he did.
So a mistake that you don't normally see Paul Skeens make, but
It's funny. As soon as he released it, you could they showed the back angle of it. And you could see as soon as he released it, he said something we can't say here on air.
Yeah.
He knew it.
Yep. But you got, this guy, Paul Skeens, that, God, just, it's more like the most likable dude in the world if you're from America because he's patriotic. He's really damn good. He's young and golly, just, I don't know. He just, the emotions coming from him, like this whole.
That's the most emotion you'll see from Paul Skeens.
And it's not a lot.
I don't even think I saw this much when they won the College World Series.
No, and somebody, one of our other baseball coaches for Memphis' team made a great point. He's like, and before the broadcast made the point because they made it afterward. He was like, "This is by far the biggest moment Paul Skeens has pitched in since the College World Series."
Yeah.
He's like, "Not even close."
Yeah,
I was like, "Damn, I didn't even think about that." Like, there hasn't been certainly not a postseason game, but there's not been a game for the Pirates that mattered at all for him to pitch. So it's been 3 years since he's probably had those kind of not nerves because he's like a robot in the best way possible. I'm not sure he gets nervous, but juice is flowing. He hadn't had that in 3 years, and to be able to stay composed, right? And he didn't have a walk. I think he hit a batter, but he didn't have a walk. That's very impressive to not overthrow. And Smoltz was talking about it on the broadcast. He goes, one of the best parts about this guy is he doesn't overthrow. He throws 99, and those guys typically overthrow, get in trouble. He's like, no, he stays in the moment the entire game.
Was Smoltz the guy calling the game?
John Smoltz was one of them, yeah.
Okay, so pretty much watching the game yesterday, and everything, good, great vibes, schemes, and then out of nowhere, Smoltz comes on and basically said, I hope he never gets Tommy Johns. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He's like, I hope he never gets injured, defies the odds. And I'm like, why did you even say that?
Yeah, he did. He's like, I hope he defies the odds. He said guys like him with how hard he throws. But I will say this.
He doesn't look like he's like.
I was just about to say.
The small boys.
I know Smoltz, he doesn't call a lot of Pirates games because he calls national games. And I'm not trying to be funny.
Are you trying to say Pirates games?
The Pirates aren't on
irrelevant?
national, they're not a national televised team ever. But the things that make Paul Skeens who he is he doesn't overthrow, and his mechanics are incredibly sound. It's not herky-jerky. It's not gimmicky, like everything. And then also the prep work that he does. Like you ask Jay, and we can ask Jay on Thursday when he joins us, like the things he does is like to get ready for one start. Like you don't see anybody do, and you certainly don't see one of the best pitchers on the planet do it.
Well, it's what we talk about all the time when it's like, oh, pitch count. It all leads to this injury and that injury. Matt sees it all the time in football, though. Like, not every quarterback has the same throwing motion. Not every pitcher does. Like, when you watch Paul, he's got that thick lower body. Like, he uses his whole body to throw, so it's not that much stress on his arm.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, he certainly whips
I was about to say,
he's
he's pretty whippy, but he just has the most beautiful mechanics I've ever seen in my life.
You have to be whippy to throw it that hard.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way.
Yeah,
you can
but
do it.
there's different versions of that too.
Right, he's not all arm.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he uses his legs.
And the other benefit he has, he didn't pitch until how many years in college? Like his first year in college,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, full time, right?
Full time. He didn't pitch full time until he got to LSU.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so he doesn't have. I mean, I wouldn't think that. I don't know the whole backstory, but I don't think he has the wear and tear of.
I know what you're saying.
Travel ball, pitching forever.
So Skeens goes 4 1/3, gives up 6 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. But then Rogers comes in. We talked about it. Gets a double play. And then Jax comes in. He has a clean inning. And then Bednar, Whitlock, and Miller each have 2 strikeouts in their innings. And
I love Mason Miller.
Bednar gave up
Yeah,
2
it was
hits,
fun.
but he shut him down. And he became a bulldog there at the end.
Well, Mason Miller's just
Miller's
monster.
awesome. Like he kept throwing a slider, and I get it because he's got I was like, dude, you're 102.
his fastball.
Yeah.
I was like,
When
I
he
promise
walked the
you,
second batter.
even if they're sitting on it, I was like, you can tell at this point in the game they're not catching up to that. And he do that last batter, he's just like 102, 102.
He's incredible.
And then he threw a slider. It's a little low, but you got the call. Who cares? Go Team America.
That's the thing that I wonder about, like the whole system they have. What's the system
They
have?
don't have it in the World Baseball Classic.
I know, but what is it? It's an AB.
K-zone you talking about? Like,
yeah. So they have of course, you got the square, the rectangle there. That calls. So that pitch dropped so hard, so fast, and got like y'all get it. I'm a novice baseball guy. When it crossed the plate, it was in the zone.
Yeah.
But of course, when it lands and it marks on the thing, it looks low.
I'll say this about that. Now, Will Smith, the American catcher, got called on a bad pitch too. It was full count, and they struck him out as inches off the plate. Okay, so that happens. I'll say this in that scenario, and of course, like you're like, yeah, of course you're rooting for USA. Full count, that situation, the tying run 90 feet away, you can't take that pitch.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't leave it up
close,
to the umpire.
You can't know.
Like,
And
that's every level of baseball. Like,
Yeah.
9U baseball, like, you'll teach. In that moment, that pitch, that close.
Fight it off if you have
got to
to.
fight it off or something.
Yeah.
You can't take it.
Yeah.
Because you can't leave it up to the umpire.
So they don't have the on the World Baseball
don't have the
Classic
challenge.
review, right? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No,
I didn't
because
see
the
it like all,
first
the whole
game
time.
for Venezuela,
Yeah, didn't he
Ronald
try?
Acuna
Yeah.
tried to tap his helmet. They were like, no, we don't
They're
have
like,
that.
we're not doing that actually. But no, like Mason Miller is elite. And
Yeah.
like with
So
the
good.
athletics, he might have been like the best player on the athletics period. But
This is why.
That's why
But
they
with
shipped
the-
him out.
Right.
yeah.
Like, hey,
They're
I
taking a
don't-
page out of the
They're
Pirates
They're like,
book
I don't know
where
if
they
you know
just
this,
like,
but like when a player gets good,
Yeah.
really good, we typically move him.
right. So
That
the
is so
Padres got
funny.
themselves a good one though.
He was outstanding. Like 102 is fun to watch.
Yeah, I love Mason Miller.
And he's
But-
done it a few times now.
But
like
I think a lot of baseball fans know who he is.
Yeah.
Garrett Whitlock probably introduced himself to a lot of baseball fans last night. He's a reliever from the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Y'all, he was filthy
Yeah.
in the 8th inning. Like,
One
it's
inning?
not 102, but it's 94 with some crazy movement. And he had like a whole arsenal ready to go.
Right.
Like, I knew who he was a little bit because I'm going to hand up here. And y'all know I watch a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, he's a good pitcher for the Red Sox. I was not familiar with his game.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. When Smoltz said, when he came in, before he threw a pitch, Smoltz goes, oh, this guy's nasty. And I'm like, all right, if he's saying that, I'm gonna lock in on this guy because, like, Smoltz didn't just, like, give away those compliments like that. Oh, boy, was he right.
he's seen Smoltz knows a thing or two about good pitching too.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
mean,
little bit.
incredible starter and closer in his MLB career.
I mean, you had this lineup for the Dominican Republic that was absolutely loaded, just like Americans. But
Well, I mean,
But, like-
theirs is like ours is really, really, really good.
but theirs was
theirs
theirs is
like-
like generational.
yeah, there's a generational, and they were
Like you, Tatis, like what?
I mean,
Juan
what are we
Soto,
doing?
what are we
These guys
talking
are-
about?
and they
My
were
dad-
also on fire
Yes,
too.
Yeah.
my dad sent me the lineup before, and he's like, "That's a nasty lineup," and I was like, "And he's gonna strike out each and every single one of them."
Their
Like I was
9-hole
not
hitter
worried
has
about.
30 home runs last year, I think.
Like Skeens faced the Monstars by
Yeah.
himself and just dominated them.
Vladdy and then Machado.
Just
Ah,
think
all
about all the arms and the different angles, speeds, and movement that lineup had to. As good as they are,
Yeah.
like America pitched their absolute face off.
They
last
did.
night. And to hold that lineup as hot as they were, as big of a like you had multiple guys on the Dominican Republic team saying, "I'd rather win this than win a World Series."
Yeah.
Like so, it means a lot to every single one of you can tell. Like to see big leaguers, the best in the world,
The World Baseball
playing in March
Classic is so fun.
and running like sprinting out of the batter's box. Like that's just something you're not going to get in March, April, May,
No.
June of Major League Baseball. Like consistently, right? You get it from the best players in the world, but everybody like at Game 7 atmosphere, just absolutely awesome, especially for stitch heads like me.
Right. No, the World Baseball Classic is so fun, and it's just like this is why it needs to be back in the Olympics. People take it to another level.
Yeah, the World Baseball
I don't even
Classic
see
is
the-
like a qualifier for the Olympics.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Four Nations face-off last year that we watched with the hockey teams. It's like you don't expect like the best in the world, to like get this fired up about it. But like we talked about it, think about all the fights between U.S. and Canada. Think about this game, Skeens versus this lineup. Like we need more of this in every sport.
Yeah.
And
Again, that's why I say it
Venezuela-
all the time. It sucks. because God, Mighty Ducks maybe want to play for Team USA in some way, some capacity, and we played the one sport that you go professional in that you got no chance to play for your country unless it's flag, but it's a different sport.
I thought about
Fullbacks don't really thrive in flag either.
thought about trying to get qualified for the U.S. Olympic team after our coaches game this past fall.
I got faith in you.
Did you send in the tape?
Need to.
You got to take the lens cap off.
Yeah,
Matt.
I thought about I was riding that high right after the game, but then I got that soreness set in the next day.
I'll tell you what, y'all know me. I don't give Matt many compliments because he doesn't deserve them, but
It's true.
he was spinning it out there. I didn't know he still had it. I didn't know he still had it left in him. He was spinning it.
We can spin it. Wait, there's a pitch count.
He threw me a touchdown in the back of the end zone. I'm like, hey, bud, chill out.
You can do the flag football, Matt. You see how like they do it competitively.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of them are short.
Who's that basketball player that's doing it?
Rondo.
Yeah,
Rondo.
Rondo.
No.
Yeah.
And again, like they
Rondo can do it.
do because they do a lot of the short passes, and he did that in basketball. He's kind of just flicking it.
Should we get you ready for the Olympics?
We should.
I know, like, and this isn't like funny. Like every year at the Super Bowl, the flag football director like goes in like the car wash, and I've interviewed him every year. I'm like, hey, I got a guy.
Got a guy.
He'll be 41 in June, but he still got it. He's got a solid mustache and a solid arm, and he's ready to work.
And he loves America.
Yeah, like who's gonna
He
fight
does.
harder than Matt? Like
Nobody.
Matt's always locked into any sport where America's competing.
Oh, no doubt, dude. I'm absolutely locked in.
Who's gonna throw their body across the line like you? No one.
I'll take some hyaluronic acid for the team. Throwback joke.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
To tell you how bad LSU men's basketball was this year.
Oh, boy.
We haven't talked about the NCAA tournament, but when we come back, the team that actually made it, Kim Mulkey's squad, will tell you where they landed, who they're going to be hosting here in Baton Rouge, and what their path to a Final Four looks like. And we'll do that when we jump back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org. Your one-stop plumbing shop. Not only in Central, though, entire greater Baton Rouge area. We are talking to you, centralplumbing.org, 225-500-0774. Now, take this number down. It is a new number, 225-500-0774. 24/7, 365, weekend, game day, holiday. It does not matter. They will be there for you. If you're looking to remodel as well, they have got you covered. To your home or your business. So go to the website, see what they can do for you, centralplumbing.org.
Sorry, Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org. It doesn't matter if it's a commercial job, residential job, if it's a small little fix, maybe your toilet's running, or maybe they have to come and reinstall gas. It doesn't matter the size of the project. It doesn't matter the complexity of it. Central Plumbing, they've been doing it a long, long time, and they are the absolute experts when it comes to all of your plumbing needs, gas lines, water lines, sewage. It does not matter. Like I said, I've done it. They've worked for me both at my house and my commercial site. They can do it all, and they are the experts. centralplumbing.org.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Bayou Automotive.
Well, maybe I'm just too sure. Or maybe I'm just too frightened by the sound of it. Pieces of note fall down, but the letter said, it was good.
Shout out to Veteran Ezra. Bull here, London. All right. Before we get to the women's bracket, I want to tell you about our friends over at Oshner. As we know, March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. We've been talking about it over the last couple of weeks. It's always a good reminder that colon cancer is one of the most common cancers, but it's also one of the most preventable when caught early. So screening can actually find small growths before they ever turn into cancer, which is why doctors recommend all adults getting screened at age 45. Now, if you have a family history, obviously that kind of changes that math a little bit, but screening is very, very important. So if you see any symptoms, if you, have a family history, and even if it's going back a couple of generations, it's a smart thing to go ahead and get that screening. A colonoscopy is still the best screening tool, but for some people, there are also simple at-home tests that may be an option for you. So the key is talking with your doctor. Having a relationship with primary care provider helps make sure that you're getting the right screenings at the right time. So schedule an appointment today, and you can do that at ochsner.org/schedule, ochsner.org/schedule, or through the My Ochsner app. All right, let's talk about the LSU women's basketball team in March Madness. They are going to be hosting basketball here in Baton Rouge. Yet again, they get a 2 seed. So just like Coach Mulkey told us last week, the best starting position that they've had since she's been at LSU. And they've had some very deep runs, including a national championship already here at LSU. Now, they are going to be in a very difficult bracket. The Regional 2, Sacramento. The 1 seed is UCLA. Very good basketball team. Ole Miss is a 5 seed. Certainly a very good basketball team. Minnesota as a 4 is a good basketball team. You got Duke as the 3, LSU as the 2. Now, for LSU in Baton Rouge, it's going to be LSU, Jacksonville, who's the number 15 seed. That's who LSU is going to be facing off in the first game coming up on the 20th. LSU is a 51.5-point favorite.
What now?
In that game, 51.5-point favorite in that game. And then Texas.
Is that real?
That's real. Texas Tech is 7 seed. Villanova is the 10 seed, so they'll also be in Baton Rouge. And so if you get past Jacksonville, which we assume you are going to, being a 51.5-point favorite, you will face the winner of Texas Tech and Villanova. But look, it's not an easy road. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. A lot of people say this is by far the toughest regional. All right, so Regional 2, Sacramento, they do it different. They don't do east, south, west like the men's. They do different regionals. You've got Regional 1 in Fort Worth. You've got Regional 3 in Fort Worth, and then 2 and 4 in Sacramento. So you would pair up with, in the Final Four, if you do make it that far, with Regional 3 Fort Worth, which Texas is the 1 seed there. Michigan is the 2 seed, Louisville is the 3 seed, and then West Virginia is the 4 seed. So, look, not saying that it's easy by any means, but it's never going to be when you're talking about women's basketball, because we talked about it last week. There's like 15 teams that you know are going to be incredibly solid. There's not going to be a lot of upsets. It's not like the men's bracket. Like the good teams, 99.9% of the time win in women's basketball. So if you do, in fact, get to a Sweet 16, I fully expect that you'll be facing off against the Duke Blue Devils. Now, a great storyline would be if the 6 seed Baylor Bears
Fantastic.
found a way to get into the Sweet 16 against LSU for the obvious reasons.
Yeah, that would be there'd be some eyeballs on that for sure. But of course, the women's bracket it's so top heavy for a reason. Just like you said, there's not as many upsets, so you would fully expect them to. The Baylor storyline would be awesome, and there's obviously would be a chance there, but probably going to be Duke, and then the winner of that game taking on UCLA. So, look, they're very good. They have the talent to do it. They just haven't been able to put it together against, well, of course, like South Carolina, of course, but you beat another number 1 seed. You beat Texas this year.
Yeah.
So the talent's there. They can do it. They just got to make a run. They got to figure out how to win. And look, they just played and got some experience, played in elimination games, and that's a good thing to go through and to do. And they lost. So if anybody can kind of guide you through those learning curves and take the positives out of losses like that, it would be Kim Mulkey. So, I trust it. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic watching LSU, and maybe they can make a run of this thing. Of course, it's a tough bracket.
Yeah.
Got to go through Duke, potentially Baylor, and then you got to go through UCLA.
Yeah, it looks completely different than Regional 4 in Sacramento. That is South Carolina, the 1 seed. You've got Iowa as the 2 seed. You got TCU as the 3 seed, and Oklahoma, who LSU beat by 4 touchdowns, as the 4 seed. So
51.5-point favorite.
Having South Carolina on the opposite side of the bracket, like that's what you want, right? Because look, LSU's been great under Kim Mulkey. That's the one hurdle you have not yet been able to get over. I mean, even when you win the Natty, people talk about, okay, well, you played Caitlin Clark in Iowa. They upset South Carolina. What would that game have looked like without them? So having them on the other side with a chance to potentially face that team in the national championship, like keep your eyes out for that potential matchup.
Yeah, if you can get out of your bracket and you potentially play a Texas team that you split with, and then you know what? Throw the uniforms out there, see what happens.
And of course, UConn being the other 1 seed in the tournament. So Texas, South Carolina, UConn, UCLA, all the number 1 seeds. For the 2 seeds, it's Vanderbilt, it's LSU, it's Iowa, and it is Michigan. So I would be surprised with South Carolina in that draw if they don't make a run to the Final Four. I could make an argument for they got the easiest 2 seed, one of the easiest 3 seeds, and then Oklahoma is one of those teams. Like, I don't want to diminish. Like, when they're really good, they can beat anybody. But we saw LSU beat them, like the way they did in the SEC tournament. So
this bracket's rigged. Everybody's thinking it.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Connor O'Gara join us to talk a little SEC spring football, get a little preview not only of the Tigers, but across the league, and we'll do that right here when we jump back on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, when it's time to kick back and enjoy the game, make sure you've got the right beer in your hand, and that is Dos Equis. So whether you're watching the big matchup, grilling with friends, or just unwinding after a very long day, Dos Equis delivers that crisp, refreshing taste that always hits the spot. They got the smooth lager, the rich amber, whatever your style is, it's always a perfect fit for game day and Dos Equis. So the next time you're stocking the cooler for the weekend, or you're heading to a watch party to watch a little midweek baseball, make sure Dos Equis is in the lineup. And not only in the lineup, they're hitting leadoff in the lineup. And as Flynn says, clean up and every spot in the lineup. Dos Equis, stay thirsty, my friends, and always enjoy responsibly.
That's right. If you want to be like the most interesting man in the world, you want to drink Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friend. And if you're going to do it, make sure that you're going to drink beer. Do it responsibly. But when you're going to do it with the best. Go for Dos with Dos Equis.
Don't let her see the way she loves me, then maybe you would understand why I feel this way about our love and what I must do. If you could only see how blue her eyes can be when she says she loves me.
Off the bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Bayou Automotive.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane's studio. Of course, our Monday shows brought to you by Bayou Automotive. Go to their website today. That is bayouautomotive.com. All right, we got former LSU pitcher Will Helmers in here in studio, as he is every single Monday with us. All right, Will, I'm going to start by asking the same question that I asked the rest of the room.
Uh-oh. Wasn't here for that.
Do you feel better, worse, or the same about LSU baseball after their trip to Nashville this weekend?
I feel better.
Okay.
Am I the first to
First
say
one,
that?
first
I said
answer.
the same.
Oh Lord, I
You
should just.
didn't say the same.
I did. You said worse.
Oh,
I
you said the same. I thought you said the same thing as him.
No, I did not. No. I said I feel the same about them.
Yeah, I feel better about it. I mean,
Okay.
you look at it from you got to look at it from a positive lens.
Yeah.
You know, they're a blown save away from being a win in an away series in the SEC
Right.
in their first one. And obviously it didn't happen. And you go back to back double-digit walks Friday, Saturday, which hasn't happened since 2017 in LSU baseball. But hey, 2017 was a good team.
Yeah.
Look at it like that.
True.
At the same time, but you got to look at it positively. They come back on that Sunday, and just they ball out. They just do their thing, and they didn't pitch great on Sunday, but the bats, tore it up. And on the Friday thing, you can't give up that many runs in the SEC. You can't give up 24 runs in 2 games in the SEC and expect to be okay.
Yeah.
And the pitching is obviously what people are kind of worried about right now. Look, the bats came alive.
Yeah.
And the Saturday game, look, their starter, tip your cap.
Yeah.
And to him, he was just awesome. And sometimes you have to do that in baseball, and that's why baseball's so unique. Sometimes you just have to be like, hey, man, this dude just got the best of us today. We couldn't do anything about it. We just got to go out there and get tougher tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like they had a high on Friday, a lot of energy, and then that's when that happens, you get walked off after you come back.
Exactly.
A lot of energy used,
Right.
and kind of a little dead on Saturday, but credit to them
Yeah.
for finding that juice again on Sunday.
Right. Yeah, finding the juice. And look, when things get tough like that, you just got to get tougher. As a team and as an individual player, it's just part of the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's why baseball's so cool. Like, look, a couple pitches away from being 2-1 in the SEC, and everybody's like, man, this LSU team. And then all of a sudden now it's like, man, this LSU team.
Right.
It's two different, scenarios, but, I think that I'm a little more positive about it than them losing, a midweek game and them dropping a series to Sacramento State. Like, this is a building block for them for sure.
I know I'm going to be careful how I ask this question because I was talking about Casey Evans earlier in the show and my thoughts on what I've seen so far. But let me ask you like an indirect question because I know you want to speak positive.
Absolutely.
In your experience, what you've seen, what you've been around, is there ever an expiration date on an experiment when it comes to thinking a guy's going to work out as a starter?
Great question. Yes.
Look at you, big stitch head.
How rare for a Monday. A great question.
All right.
But yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's some people that probably saw that coming from what he did. And look, it's a bad performance. We all know that. And I can tell you he knows that too. And
Sure.
he feels that just as much as the rest of
competitors know that.
Exactly. He's a competitor, and that's what he is. And I think, this is just a total opinion thought. Like, as you see this LSU season go, you may see Cooper Moore Friday, Schmidt Saturday, and nobody Sunday.
Right.
And you've seen that a ton from LSU baseball, is not having that Sunday guy. And maybe you find a thing where Casey Evans is that Griffin Herring who comes in and throws 4 out of the pen like he did all last year. That's where he's comfortable. We know he's got the stuff. We know he's got the competitive nature to go out there and be a pretty awesome bullpen guy. I don't think Cason's a starter.
Yeah.
Just from, and I've thought that for a while. I think he could be a great starter, but I think he's better served coming out of the pen he's got a bulldog mentality. He's high energy when he comes out of the pen in a big situation, and that's just going to be better served to his pitching, the way he goes about his business. So I think that you might see that. They may give him another chance this weekend. If it doesn't pan out, then they start moving guys around.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: is there more nerves starting a Friday night than starting a Saturday or Sunday? Because it's like an unknown. It's an unknown line. I believe Saturday, Sunday, you've had a chance to watch.
Correct. Yeah, it's totally different. I never started a Friday game. I only started Saturday, Sunday. But starting a Friday night game is like, you're the guy. Everybody knows you're the guy, and if you don't perform, it's all on you.
Yeah.
And for him to go out there and you walk 6, and it's just not the performance you want. It sucks, but he's going to get back on the horse, and who knows? Maybe he comes out next weekend and it's totally different. And like you said, like not being able to see that lineup, as a Saturday starter and a Sunday starter. Sunday starter's seen the lineup 3 times. If he's paying attention, he knows how to get guys out.
Yeah.
Saturday, same thing. You've seen that lineup.
True.
And so to not see that lineup and it be fresh in your face coming at you is a different story for a Friday guy.
Look, if he's your guy that comes in when you have a lead and shuts the door, like
We know
Griffin
he's
Herring
great.
did.
We know he's great in that.
Yeah.
Right, that
Yeah,
role.
we've seen him do that on a national
A
championship
million
team.
times.
Like you get a
Yeah.
lead on a Friday night or a Saturday, and that guy comes in it can be the 5th inning, and he shuts the door. That's a great role to have on an SEC team as well.
Exactly. And for him, like, I think he's best suited. That's where he's going to get drafted the best out of.
I think so, too.
That's where his statistics are going to line up the best with how he pitches.
The top of the lineup too. Like they came back. So Milan Brown, Curia, like that was really good.
Yes, it's
for
great.
them. And Jake Brown's just like in fuego right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean all
that kid
weekend
is-
long for him.
Yeah.
And even the top of that lineup, they're always on base, but that middle, and bottom is like, man, we got to get some guys.
They're going to
on.
find somebody. Somebody
They're
has to
gonna have
step up for
find
sure.
Somebody in that middle to bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're going to find somebody in there. Like Aaron Beatty had a good day yesterday, but it's hasn't been all season long.
Yeah.
Are you looking at a launcher? All right, so you got a series coming up with Oklahoma this weekend, so we look forward to that. What we got going on at Louisiana Loaded before we let you out of here?
Man, all kinds of stuff. I actually went to Houston last week to go see Skeens throw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I threw last night, obviously in Miami, but that was awesome. Did a little road trip over there. Stopped at Daryl's in Lake Charles.
Yeah.
Oh, the Daryl special.
Daryl special, man.
Come on,
and the
dude.
surf and turf.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Best po' boy in Louisiana. We got some more. We got some cool episodes on the pod coming up this
Bold
week.
statement.
Tuesday, Thursday. Oh, excuse
It's a
me.
bold statement.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I said it loud and
With your chest
proud.
out, too.
Loud and proud
Good.
too. I've
Absolutely.
had
Got
plenty
to.
of po' boys. Those are.
I mean, you're
two
from,
of the best.
Like, you're from New Orleans.
From New
too,
Orleans.
So, like,
Yep.
that's not somebody from where I'm from. I know y'all would throw
Yep.
shade at that.
Yep, I'm
Daryl's does it different.
gonna throw it down.
Okay.
Daryl's best in Louisiana.
Awesome.
If anybody's willing to tell
Yeah.
me I'm wrong, please tell me where to go.
Bring you a po' boy to
yeah,
you.
exactly. Bring me one or tell me where to go. I'd be happy.
Awesome. Will, we appreciate it every Monday, man.
Awesome, guys. Thank you
All
for
right,
having
Will
me.
Helmers, Louisiana Loaded. Check it out. They got a podcast with Jordy Collada as well. All right, we'll take a break. We got Connor O'Gara joining us when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Hey, go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. We'll know something, too, about those guys over there in the G team. Go to the website, and you can have a live chat right there on the homepage with an agent. You can check out cases they can handle for you in the courtroom, past client results, all of that. You always know, too, it is at Get Gordon on social media, so you'll see the G team, what they're doing in the local communities. And then if you want to pick up the phone in Louisiana, remember, it is your area code no matter where you're at. Louisiana, from Shreveport to Baton Rouge to New Orleans to Lafayette, everywhere in between, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
That's right. Be part of the G team. GetGordon.com. You've seen all the work that they do in the community. You've seen the work with, of course, the G team. But at the heart of everything, what they're here to fight for you. Gordon McKernan, personal injury attorneys. If you've been injured, whether it's on the job, car accident, whatever it is, it's not like you're going to know what to do. Call somebody. Call the experts that have been fighting for people in Louisiana for a long time. Let them get exactly what you deserve. GetGordon.com.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Bayou Automotive.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane's studio. Always a pleasure to catch up with our next guest, our guy Connor O'Gara, host of the OG Kickoff, joins us now to talk a little SEC spring football. Connor, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Gentlemen, hanging in there. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Have you come down from the high of your Indiana Hoosiers winning the national championship?
A little bit. That's for personal reasons. We don't necessarily need to go there, but yeah, look, it's still surreal. And as I'm sitting here, we're less than 24 hours removed from Indiana being left out of the NCAA tournament field.
That's true.
So it's a weird time. Like I'm texting with my Georgia buddies this morning, and one of the things that they were talking about was Georgia getting into the NCAA tournament. And Georgia can't win a playoff game, and yet IU is this team that, for whatever reason, can't get into the NCAA tournament and is winning a national championship in football. None of this makes sense in the year of our Lord 2026.
That's fair. That is completely fair, but they cannot take that title away from Indiana, and it will certainly be there forever. All right, Connor, I wanted to have you on today, talk a little SEC spring football. The team that you're most intrigued by going into the spring, for whatever reason, it can be good, bad, indifferent, whatever. The team that you are looking forward to seeing or hearing practice reports, seeing some clips, whatever it might be?
LSU. Where am I saying that? Of course. Look, I do think there's a lot of intrigue with everything that Lane Kiffin is trying to do year one. And I think that there is an expectation that is unlike any other year one coach in the SEC. There are 6 new coaches in this conference, and it's very unique talking about the roster, because when you turn over half of the roster like that, you are now talking about a team that can have a new identity year one. What does it look like with this ground attack that was able to retain those running backs, but you still have questions about what it's going to look like schematically? Do they have the offensive line to be able to kind of pave the way? And I'm looking at LSU now going, well, they should be preseason top 10 every single year with Lane Kiffin. That's the way that this works. What's it going to look like with Sam Leavitt, knowing that you're not going to get him in spring ball? And there are going to be a lot of questions about this team. But yeah, Lane is going to only probably shine a spotlight even bigger on his program. I couldn't, keep up with what he was doing over the weekend, playing hoops with the Cavender twins, talking about Carson Beck. Like, Lane just always is going to bring a spotlight to Baton Rouge.
Connor, what's up, brother? Hey, I got a question for you. Have you ever seen a player in the history of college athletics, or college football certainly, that wants to go to the NFL less than Trinidad Chambliss?
No. Look, no.
He hates it.
He, for whatever reason, he's like, no, I want to stay here. I want to stay here as long as I possibly can. There is certainly a conversation that's been had about Trinidad Chambliss with NFL people. I don't think that he is just looking at his situation going, well, you know what? I just came from Division II. I am only good enough to be at this level. I think that he's had those conversations behind the scenes, but I do think this is all about internal belief. And Matt, you know this. If you have a sliver of doubt that you can be that guy in the NFL, you're not ready. And he would be drafted as a round 1 guy or an early round 2 guy, wherein that clock is going to be limited. He's not going to have some 3-year runway at where he could be drafted. And you could say, yes, the quarterback class is way deeper next year than it is this year. Maybe financially speaking, it wasn't the best decision, but he clearly feels like he has work to do as someone that obviously came from the Division II level, was at Division II at this time last year, and probably thought that's what's going to be his path. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he's the best returning quarterback in college football. I think he is that dude, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do after doing whatever he could possibly do to stay in college football next year.
Connor, which team in the SEC do you think actually has the most work to do of the teams that were at the top or near the top just last year?
Let's talk about Texas here, because Texas is the team that is going to get a lot of preseason buzz, and the Cam Coleman addition certainly splashy. They get Raleek Brown coming over from Arizona State. That's 1,000-yard rusher at the power conference level. That's not nothing. But Texas is going to get a lot of love because of Arch Manning. What else is new? I have questions about this defense. Will Muschamp was a bold move from Steve Sarkisian. He moved on from one of the best defensive coordinators in the country in Pete Kwiatkowski. And he essentially said, I need a head coach of the defense. Now, they have a lot of turnover. You're going to see these names that are coming off the board on the Texas side for the NFL draft that are going to make you go, dang, they were so talented. I thought they were going to be the best defense in college football last year. That didn't prove to be the case. But Texas is going to be the team that I'm looking at going, wait a minute, are they going to have to win all these games with shootouts? Are they really going to have a good year one defense with Will Muschamp, who, by the way, has not had total autonomy on the defensive side of the ball since he was at South Carolina in 2020? And I do wonder if there is going to be an element of, man, like they really need to win all these games with shootouts to make them, perhaps not as viable of an elite contender as maybe they're made out to be. But I think Texas is one of those teams that is just loaded with intrigue at the top.
Yeah. Connor, Alabama has to replace, of course. Probably going to be the second quarterback taken, and Ty Simpson. This weekend, I pulled a really nice Keelan Russell sports card. Is this a hold or a sell?
It's a hold. We did a draft of the top 10. Well, okay, so let me phrase this the right way. We did a draft on the OG kickoff of quarterbacks that we would want for 2026. And that draft is essentially, who do you think is going to be considered one of the best players in the country by season's end? So surroundings are really big with that. I almost drafted Keelan Russell. And I think that he is in a spot where people will question him because he's not necessarily the most experienced guy in that system. Austin Mack is entering year 4 in that offense, even though Austin Mack won't even turn 20 years old until June, which is just baffling. I don't know how that's possible. But Keelan Russell comes in as the decorated guy who was on the cover of Men's Health, and he is the one that I think this coaching staff believes is Michael Penix. Now, he's doing so in a different way as a right-handed thrower, but I think he's the guy that's going to get the keys to this offense. And I do think that there is a sense that he can be the difference maker. All these questions we have about Alabama after their worst running game ever that they've ever had, and this offensive line that's got all these new pieces, if you get a dude with Keelan Russell, it changes everything. I think he's going to be that dude.
All right, Connor, we've got about a minute left, and I left some time here for you to answer this question. The player for LSU in spring, since Sam Leavitt's not going to be able to be a full participant in practice, that you're most looking forward to seeing?
Landon Clark, coming over from the FCS level.
All right, okay.
Look, I'm not saying he's going to be Trinidad Chambliss. I am saying do not sleep on his potential emergence, because I know you get the former 5-star coming over from USC, and everybody's talking about what Sam Leavitt's going to do in this offense. It would be just kind of peak Lane Kiffin if all of a sudden Landon Clark emerged as this sub 6-footer. I'm here for that. If you're talking about like buying stock, like buy or sell, Matt, Landon Clark, that's a guy to buy stock in.
All right, well, the moon. We're always buying stock in our guy Connor O'Gara. We appreciate it, sir. We'll catch up again soon.
Gentlemen, thank you.
All right, Connor O'Gara, always good enough to join us here on OTB. And remember, you can check out the OG Kickoff as well. He is the host of that show. All right, we've got hour 3 coming your way. We've got a ton. Stay locked in. OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. That is the website.
Yeah.
If you want to feel like your youthful self again, that you visit and you check out all the things that they can do for you. If you want to feel like you got that first step quickness still, go see them over at Rejuve Me. Yeah.
All right.
It leaves you. They'll get it back.
You'll get it back.
They'll get it back for you. Locations throughout the state of Louisiana. No matter where you're listening to us, there is going to be one that is very convenient for you. Go check them out online, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Odds are, if you're hearing us talk about this, there is a Rejuve Me Medical clinic, and a great clinic that is near you that you can go and get some blood work done, talk to the nurses there, talk to the medical staff about everything they can do. And we're talking about weight loss, we're talking about peptides, overall wellness, aesthetics, but hormone replacement therapy, HRT, they are Louisiana's leader in HRT for the last 10 years. So if you're going to do it, make sure you go see them about it. The best in the business, RejuveMeMedical.com.